Hi there and welcome to the History Teacher. This revision video covers Weimar and Nazi Germany from the Edexcel 9-1 course. Hopefully you'll also find it useful if you're studying any of the other exam boards or if, like me, you just love history. You can now become a member to support me to continue making this content for as little as £1 a month. Plus you'll get exclusive access to resources and be able to vote on forthcoming episodes. The link is on your screen right now. Hi there guys, today we're going to be looking at question 1 on paper 3. This only carries 4 marks, but it can be difficult to understand what the question is actually asking you to do. I'm going to be looking at 2 examples of this question, a text source and a picture source. So let's start by looking at the question itself. First off, it tells you to study source A below and then answer question 1. On the next page, it then gives you the question. Give 2 things you can infer from source A about the topic in question. There are some key bits of information here that you should know. The first is that it's asking you for 2 inferences. So what does infer actually mean? It basically means to work out something from the source. So we're not looking for obvious details here, we're looking at what we can work out from those obvious details. The question also asks you to state the detail in the source that tells you this. This tells us that they want 2 things from you. 1 is the inference you've made, and 2 is where you got that inference. Let's have a look at an example of this question so I can show you what I mean. This is a text source, which I think is trickier than a picture source because the temptation is to reword what is written in the source. I've seen many students write "Hitler wants power" as an answer, but this is not an inference. This is clearly stated in the text, so we need to look more closely at the source to get our inferences. Now the question is asking you to give 2 things you can infer from source A about Hitler's leadership of the Nazi Party in the 1920s. And this is the focus of the question, and we need to focus on that statement. What does the source tell us about how Hitler led the Nazi Party in the 1920s? Read the whole text and you begin to get an idea. This is an encounter between Hitler and Otto Strasser. In it he describes the programme as being too vague. So we can make an inference here. If Otto Strasser is complaining that the programme is too vague, it suggests that Hitler either hasn't thought through the policies or relies on his speeches to get him elected rather than his policies. Either of these are valid inferences, so we can write in our table, Hitler had not planned policies in detail, into the first box, and then the second section I'm going to just add the direct quote from the source which led me to this inference, our programme is too vague. This links to Hitler's leadership because it suggests he's not planning his strategy carefully. Now we need another inference. So we read on and find Hitler, who even then could hardly bear contradiction. Again, this is not an inference, this is just a statement, but we can make an inference from it. I think this suggests that Hitler is argumentative and wants everything done his way. So I'm going to write that in. Again, I just need the direct quote for the final section. Hopefully you can see that we need to avoid just restating what the source says and work out what it tells us about the question. Right, let's have a look at a picture source to practice this skill. This source shows us a Nazi propaganda poster showing an Aryan family with 4 children, and the caption of the poster reads, "The Nazi Party protects the national community." This time the focus of the question is give 2 things you can infer from source A about family life in Nazi Germany. Now this is tricky because we know that there is a difference between what the Nazi Party want and what actually happened. So we're going to have to show that we understand the difference in our answer. Have a look at the picture, and there are some key details we can pick out. The first one I spot is about gender roles. We see that the mother is breastfeeding her baby and the little girl in front of her is holding a doll. To me, this suggests that the Nazis want women to be homemakers and mothers, and that the expectation is put onto girls at a young age. So I can just write this inference directly into my answer. The second thing I notice is that the mother is breastfeeding and there is nature all around them. There are apples on the floor and flowers growing, suggesting that the picture is in their garden. This suggests that the Nazis believe a perfect family life is natural and they want the people to live natural, healthy lives. So again, I'm just going to write my inference in with the part of the source that supports this. There are many other inferences that you can make from this source, and let me know in the comments if you spotted any of the others. So that's everything you need to know about question 1 on paper 3. Hopefully it's now clear what is meant by an inference. Now for a quick word from my other half, and I will see you next time.
History teacher's SO here. She's given up work and is living off her savings to make these videos full time. Unfortunately, savings don't last forever, so we're asking for your help. If you can spare any money to help her keep making these videos, please visit the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description and give what you can. That said, we know these are difficult times. You might not have any money to spare, but you can still help. Like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, but also spread the word. Tell your friends, colleagues, and anyone you think might be interested. Thanks.